Are we starting recording already? Did we start the show?
I'm still recording.
Oh,
What's it called?
I haven't actually started the show yet, though.
Wait, time out. Pause. Adam, on you. Here's Adam.
DC, all X's.
Sam talks over him.
Sorry, Adam.
That's all good. I was waiting.
I still love you and the Cowboys.
We're still on schedule for 6 o'clock. Good job, guys.
Yeah, sure we are.
There you go. 6:30.
Are we ready? Are we ready? Are we ready? Ready? All right, so. Welcome to No Outside Food Allowed, a.k.a. The Nofa Show, episode 28. We're here to watch all the trailers and talk all the theories. Today we're covering San Diego Comic-Con and all the sweet movie announcements. We'll review Equalizer 2 and Netflix's How It Ends. And then Felix is going to remind us the difference between a soundtrack and a score.
Oh, yeah.
And then we'll pick our favorite movie music. Yeah. I'm Adam. And, of course, I'll be the leader of this group of super friends. Of course, Superman. With me today, Jose Loyola.
Aquaman.
Yeah. Who was going to go there first? Chris Felix.
Martian Manhunter.
Chris Gagne.
Batman?
There you go.
You son of a
He's
bitch.
I was just surprised
You
he
son of
hadn't
a
been-
bitch.
Sam Lim.
Cyborg.
Don't be so sad.
And
Come on.
lastly, Chai Chu and Cherylin Wong.
Robin.
That is actually a member of the Super Friends, so good job on you.
Sorry. You guys should have been the Wonder Twins.
I know, nobody picked that. All right,
Sam and Chai, is that a racial thing?
Well,
Guys.
it's worse now because it's Kanye and Chai, Batman and Robin.
Who's this guy?
Yeah.
Guys, we got a ton
the
to talk
Tomahawk
about
guy?
this
Yeah,
week.
who's the Tomahawk guy?
Chai's looking up Super Friends.
Yeah. I forgot who else is on that team. I totally
Adam.
screwed that up.
The Adam was on there.
The Adam was on there.
Yeah, the Hawk.
There's the Hawk members, right? Aquaman.
The hockey people.
All right, anyway.
Anyways.
To the good stuff.
Lots of movies and trailers and stuff coming out from the Comic-Con.
Huzzah.
We got some cool stuff to talk about there. But we're going to start with a couple of movie reviews. We'll start with Equalizer 2. Anybody see that one?
Yes.
Got a couple of hands raised.
Saw it.
Yeah, Felix and Sam.
Watch it tomorrow.
Yes.
Yeah. Gagne, did you see that one?
Negative.
Not yet?
Looking not forward to it.
Ooh,
After I hear the
negative.
review?
Party of one.
I should feel the
I
same
love
way.
Denzel, but come on.
I felt the same way.
Actually, I liked the first one. It was a pretty decent movie. It reminded me a lot of John Wick. So what did you guys think about it?
I enjoy the action big time. I'm a sucker for action movies. Denzel did a great job the way his character was. And like the way they played out the storyline this one, it can lead to more if they want to. But just the way he interacted and the way he used the weapons and his tactics seem realistic enough the way he did it, you know what I mean? So it kept us going for sure, you know, on edge to figure out what's going on, what's the storyline. It hit all your basic action movie
Plot
markers.
points.
Yeah, exactly.
Car chase and, like a bank robbery or...
Oh, well, this combo. Well, not car chase, but car driving off and fighting combo combined together.
Oh, it's a car fight.
Yes,
Nice.
a car fight.
So if you took Denzel and Speed.
No, Denzel and Fast and Furious, duh.
Oh,
God,
okay.
no.
Oh, okay.
Not even close.
Well, I would like to see
Maybe
The Rock
that's-
against Denzel.
Oh,
Okay.
I'm there. Papa, can you hear
Does anybody
me?
remember Biker Boys? It was a bunch
Sure.
of motorcycle
Oh,
fighting.
boys.
We promoted that movie so
Who
hard.
was in there? Who was it? What rapper
Orange
was there?
Fishburne.
Yeah, it was a pretty bad one.
Was it
Orange
DMX
Fishburne
was in there
was
too?
No,
DMX?
no DMX. It was Orange Fishburne.
Oh.
There was a fight scene motorcycle where
Yeah.
one side's Mountain Dew, one
Yes.
side's
Oh,
Pepsi.
yeah.
Yes.
The reason I remember this because I had to screen the movie thanks to my boss. Cough, cough.
I saw it. It was pretty shitty. What was the other one? Was it Torque? Was that the other one?
Yes.
That was the
so
other one.
stupid.
Yeah, Torque was the other one. Yeah, I remember.
They
that.
came out like a week apart.
An extreme time.
Anyway, let's bring it back.
Anyways,
Okay. Did you like it, Felix?
I thought it was all right. Honestly, it was fine. This is like you were saying, it's a very paint by numbers kind of film. I
boys
still
went
think the first one is my favorite over the two. I think this one was it was just okay. Honestly, if it wasn't for Denzel, I feel like this would have been extremely forgettable because Denzel's amazing in everything he does. And I don't know, I thought it was just okay. I thought it kind of dragged a little bit, and it kind of what I liked about the first one, like you said, it kind of has a John Wick sort of feel to it. This one is just. It almost kind of went a little bit more overboard where it almost felt like a James Bond thing for a second. Like the cold opening, it's not really a spoiler, it's the first 5 minutes. He's like going to Turkey, but like he's very much like an undercover sort of situation rather than being back at home and just kind of being this Punisher with the heart of gold.
the
He was,
X.
he was kind of just like actually out there being active again, which is fine, I guess. But I don't know. It just felt a little bit more that they're pushing the envelope a little bit. But I feel like it was fine. I wouldn't hurry to see it, honestly. I feel like they could have stopped at the first one and been done with it. But this is okay. I mean, it was enjoyable. I just don't think it was the best thing ever.
Did you
Okay.
like
Better
the
than
first
Tao.
one?
Yeah, I said the first one was I preferred it.
Better than Tao.
I would hope
So-
so. It got released in theaters.
And it has Denzel.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, I think the first
not
one was
as
a lot
an
better.
AI.
Yeah. The cast in this one was pretty good, though. Pedro Pascal, he was Prince Oberyn in Game of Thrones. He was pretty good in this. And then also Ashton Sanders, so he played the kid Miles. He was in Moonlight. He did a really good job in here also. Yeah, I mean, otherwise, it was a fine film. It was just okay.
It's
7
about
out of 10
numbers,
for me.
You know, your basic
7
action
out of 10?
movie.
Yeah.
Sam, would you score it?
7 out of 10.
7?
Yeah.
Worth seeing in theaters?
Yeah.
Have a-
It's a good movie, like I said, but
Denzel,
it's
if you're hearing me, I'll
no,
go
I
watch
mean,
it
it's
tomorrow.
not like really a spectacle of a movie.
It's worth seeing it during the daytime, which is only $5.
Yeah, if you catch matinee, fine. It's not a spectacle of a movie. I'll
It's
say
not
that
worth the 9.
the closing action sequence is actually pretty cool because it kind of did this thing I'd never really seen in film before, where it kind of used weather as a major factor in it. So I thought that was a really cool, like, kind of
and
closing
then
to it.
they set it up for a third one?
Wait, you didn't see
I mean,
Geostorm?
Hey.
I didn't see that one actually.
All right, so Equalizer 2, check it out if you're a fan of Denzel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which I like, so
There you
I'll
go.
be there tomorrow.
there you go.
There you go.
I'll go with you.
I got to do it. Date.
All right, so moving on from that, let's go into our new segment, No Outside Flix Allowed. We've been doing a Netflix style movie review, book club thing. This
Movie
week
club.
we tried to watch How It Ends.
That's keyword. We tried.
Tried to watch.
We tried.
How it ends.
How it ends. Yes.
Yes.
With Forrest Whitaker.
Forrest Whitaker and what's the other guy's name?
Theo James.
Thank you.
There
he
we
was
go.
in the Insurgent series.
Yeah.
It was
never seen those
just kind of an
series.
average movie for me. I gave it a 6. It's just like kind of barely above Tao in that,
Can you
it's
explain to me why the
basically
ending
a
was so
bad
shitty?
version of The Road.
Why was the ending so shitty? Well, to me, because like
Oh, you don't like how it ends?
Yeah, How It
Yeah,
Ends was
How It
terrible.
Ends was-
It was a
the ending
terrible
was so
title
bad.
because How It Ends was a complete letdown.
So it didn't end well.
So I've
Did not
heard
end well.
I've heard lots of complaining about it and know like examples of what exactly you didn't like. So
Okay, hold on,
being
hold
as
on
that
there.
being
Everybody's
as I'm
interrupting
going to
me.
defend this, I'd like to hear some concrete what was bad.
All right, you start out the movie with Theo James going across country to get his father's
Chicago.
law's permission,
From Seattle to Chicago.
right, to get married, right? And
Okay.
the first thing he does is get yelled at, and he never lets up. What's his name?
Forrest Whitaker.
Forrest Whitaker. Thank you. He's like ex-military, so he goes right into the alpha male, ask you 20 questions, and then as soon as the event happens, he goes right into the we're gonna go get my daughter. Like snaps right into it, and out the door they go. It seems like these guys have never seen any kind of like apocalyptic movie because they get out and they try to help everybody, and it goes wrong every single time. And they pick up the one part of the movie I like is they get about halfway through their trip and they pick up this little girl. She's on an Indian reservation and she's
mechanic.
their mechanic. Yeah.
Yeah.
And she was kind of the only one that I felt could act. And she walked away from them thinking they were bad people like 5 minutes later. So I don't know. It didn't ever get anywhere.
So let me
So
jump
throw
with
away
vacation.
characters.
Let me
Yeah,
jump off what Adam was saying. So, like he was saying, it's from set piece to set piece. This felt like I was watching a live action Oregon Trail, where it's literally like two guys traveling across country, going from situation to situation.
Yeah.
Like you said, they stop at the gas station, and these punk asses just kind of come up real stereotypical, like, oh, what's going
nice
on?
car,
Nice
right?
car. Let me take that shit, And then of course Forrest Whitaker scares them off with his crazy eye, and then they keep moving on. They encounter this like crazy convict who escapes prison, and he takes this cop car, and so he's chasing them down, and then like all of a sudden, like, oh, you broke your ribs. So I'm like, now you're continuing. I swear to God, this is all the Oregon Trail. Then eventually it continues on to they get chased by more things. I was like, oh, you died of your broken ribs now. And then like one thing, it didn't never really explain what the fuck was happening. Honestly, it didn't
No.
really say anything as to what was happening. And then when it actually ends, he's literally saying, so like, oh, what's happening again? I'm like, what's happening again?
Nobody knows.
I was like, well, we're never going to find out because the movie's over. And then like at the very end, you have this random douchebag who's like has feelings for his wife, I guess.
The neighbor.
Out of nowhere, just kind of became this issue for some reason. And then that becomes like a thing and a standoff. And then Yeah, it's just like random situation after situation without really any reasoning for it. I mean, it's just random bad luck, I guess. But I don't know. This was great.
All right,
Sam?
so my interpretation was that it was an in the world situation, right? They had like the lights out, like all the apocalyptic shit. Your basic apocalyptic situation, you know, the flood.
Yeah, the crazy traffic,
Yeah,
people
yeah,
trying to get out
all
of
that.
town.
I noticed there was a lot of throwaway characters, like the mechanic, the sudden neighbor that saved her, right? And like it was very predictable when you watch it. You know what I mean? Because we've seen enough movies where we're like, oh, that's a bad guy. This is gonna happen. The one thing that bummed me out was that Forrest Whitaker did die, but his last like ditch effort was a sharpshooter at the last minute, and then he dies heroically. I understood that part, and I gave him props, but it just kind of sucked. Like, hey, you saved the day, and now you're on fire because you're dead.
Because you're dead.
And then I understand they were trying to play the bonding role between the alpha male and the son-in-law, like trying to get
Who
along.
didn't even know how to shoot, and then he had to learn, and they bonded, right?
Yeah. But the thing is, like, dude, you have a set goal. Just head that way. You know, don't make so many stops. It's horrible. Like, it's horrible planning, right? And just the fact that they actually took 15 minutes for us to learn about the mechanic and then have her just wander off. I'm like, man, that's kind of bummer.
She literally just walked down the street. She's like, I'm done with you guys.
She just like totally disappeared.
Yeah. And then what annoyed me the most, honestly, was the convenience of the gas mask he found on that truck. Like, it
was a fire truck, by the way, which
Yeah, it's
most
a
fire
fire
trucks
truck.
have a gas mask. So
but this one was like nice.
Thank you,
prestige.
Jose.
Like, it wasn't used. Like, it was so perfect in there. I was like, oh, cool. The perfect setup, you know, for usual disaster movies. For me, honestly, it was okay. It wasn't too bad. Just, I wish it had a better ending. It had a stronger ending. Because that open interpretation with the cloud of smoke chasing them.
Yeah, smoke
it's like-
monster.
it's like, man, don't do me like Lost again. Don't do that.
well, I'm gonna tell you this right now. How it ends for me for Netflix. I liked it, but let me start off by saying this is a hard B movie, and it's a really good B movie for me. With that said, love the theory. I think there's more into the plot than what I think what anyone is really looking to. It's a contrast between Theo James plays more of a millennial, like I'm a lawyer from Seattle, and I'm flying out to go meet my baby mama's parents so I can get their permission to marry her, which is played by Forrest Whitaker as a dad. He goes and meets them, have a fancy ass dinner in their house, and Forrest Whitaker literally lays it on thick. One of the lines I remember reading, he said something about your generation. And he said, your generation, everybody wants to dream, but no one wants to work for it. That's almost like it's clowning on the millennial mentality. And that whole theme kind of continued to kind of surface throughout the whole movie. The whole, Theo James doesn't really know how to react to the situation. And Forrest Whitaker's like, well, let me show you how to shoot a gun. Let me show you how to do this.
was definitely learning as
Just
he
keep
went.
going. Just keep going. You got to save your girl. You got to save my daughter. You got to do this stuff. And until the very end, and I get it too. It was a little choppy at the end where, Forrest Whitaker died. But that's the theme of the whole movie where, millennials have to kind of man up a little bit more. And this is how it's going to end because millennials continue being the way they are. They complain. They want everything.
No hard work, then you're not going to survive.
Yeah, and I actually like the movie enough because it was entertaining enough for me. I mean, it's not something that I'm gonna be like, hey, let's go watch, how it ends. But definitely, it's a hard B movie, a good one. And if I were to rate a B movie, I'd rate this movie an 8.5 for a B movie. Some of the graphics were kind of okay, and there were some plot holes in it. I get it, especially at the end. Like there was no real hard ending, but I think that's really more because, hey, millennials, you guys, at the end, it's like
Keep working.
Theo James can finally stepped up, manned up, and said, okay, I'll fucking do whatever I got to do to save my future baby mama's life, and that's my interpretation of it.
8.5 for a B movie. What about you,
Yeah.
Gagne?
7.5 out of a normal movie. I will agree with the feeling of it being a little disjointed at the end, with the whole neighbor being introduced and then quickly being erased. I don't agree with the mechanic. I felt like she was pretty much in the middle, second act of the movie and then disappears. She's not part of the beginning or the end, but a good part of the middle, even though it feels short. The movie was under 2 hours. I thought for straight to Netflix, effects were pretty good. Forrest Whitaker never disappoints. Theo James, who I thought couldn't act at all, I thought did great considering Insurgent was almost unbearable. And then, honestly, like I completely agree with Jose in it's a character study. It's a character study set behind the world ending, and so they didn't tell us what was really happening, but it wasn't about that. It was about the story of these two guys who have this issue, and he needs the permission from the dad, and he goes for that. There's conflict there. The world goes to shit. We're gonna travel across country together because we both love this woman, and our bond is gonna be sealed because of what happened. It's the end of the fucking world. There's gonna be weird stuff where they're stopping to save people, and people are trying to rob people. Like, it felt like all that was cliche and throwaway, but I liked the character study of it. I like when they take a story that we've all heard a million times, aliens invade or the world's being destroyed, and then just kind of pivot a little bit and focus more on one part of that story and not this like grand like the world's ending and Will Smith's gonna blow up the aliens and we're all gonna save the day. Like, this was
Dennis
a focus
Quaid
on
is gonna be
but what about this one story about these other people? I liked that aspect of it. And so it wasn't perfect, and it started to feel a little long in the end, but I enjoyed it for what it was worth.
Right. And then I think to the point where you're talking about the mechanic, that's why I started thinking like this is really more about the contrast of the old versus new mentality. When the mechanic left, how easy for a lot of people nowadays tend to just leave. I mean, we're in the generation of divorce and generation of delete, and I don't like you, and I'm just gonna unfriend you. How that's like, to me, I feel like that the movie really touches on that whole like. All of these youngsters, Theo James and his generation, really are, quick to just respond very abruptly, kind of knee-jerk mentality, rather than fight through it. Let's do the right thing. Let's continue progressing on. Let's do what you're set out supposed to. In this case, go save my daughter. Go save your future baby mama and your future wife. Gotta work hard to it. I don't know. That's why I like it.
Is that his baby or the neighbor's baby?
Oh, it is his baby. Yeah, exactly. Right. That was kind of weird. I was like, okay. Well,
I was getting that vibe, seriously, when they all met.
Right.
Really know what to follow necessarily. Like, are we more concerned about these guys' drama over here? Like you're saying, it is more of a character study where I'm more focused on the real world situation, because there's some cool imagery that I really like the shots when they're actually driving. You see all the tanks on the trains and all that.
Right.
That's terrifying shit to me.
The
Like,
water park was pretty cool.
That's like some of the scariest stuff to me, and like in my imagination, like driving through your neighborhood and seeing military vehicles coming through. Holy crap, that's terrifying. So I was kind of more focused and interested on that. Like, well, what's happening with the world? I want to know what's going on. Is this something that we did to ourselves? Did we fuck up? Is this? I mean, I don't want it to be aliens or whatever, but no, it turns out to be a millennial fucking wake up call. So
that's exactly what the movie is.
I will say one positive thing about the movie. Okay, the one positive thing for sure is that they were always good on gas. He always double checked for gas.
They always had to stop and get gas, and that's what got him in trouble half the time.
But the thing is, they actually checked for gas, which I appreciate. You know what I mean? Because
They
most of
didn't
the
just
disaster
have,
movie,
like,
they don't check for
the
gas.
never-ending gas tank, right?
this took over the course of 3 days or 4 days, so
5 days.
And it makes sense. That's why she left. She left because she ended up killing people, and that's not what she signed up for. And she's like,
That's
I'm
true.
outta here.
They kind of forced her to go with them, and then she killed people,
chasing people
She didn't
down,
appreciate
and
that.
blowing up cars.
I guess
to
she
get
felt
gas.
like they forced her into killing people. So
well, see, that was kind of a throwaway part too, because I enjoyed that. I wanted to see what was going to happen with them, and then she fucking just walks off. She fucking disappears. So never mind.
Let's wrap this one up. I think we got some varied scores, middling, very much like Tao. I think
Did everybody get their
It's
scores?
Nofa certified for sure. No one fucking agrees on this one.
I give it a 5 out of 10.
No, I'm
I
going to
said
say
my
this
score.
was way better than Tao. So
Nofa certified.
So what was that, Flix?
I give it a 5 out of 10.
5 out of 10. All right.
Chai didn't see
I
it.
gave it a 6.
8.5 for a B movie.
There you go. That's gonna be a Jose quote.
I'm gonna
sticking
give
with
it
the 7.5.
7.5.
They get
All right,
they get
so
a 7
check it out
because of the gas situation.
if we haven't totally ruined it for you.
Oh yeah, spoilers.
And then,
It's a good movie if you want something to
and
watch.
then we'll
on
come back
Netflix.
at you next week with a new Netflix original movie.
Yeah, well, stay tuned.
Stay tuned. All right, guys, let's jump into. There's been some big headlines this week involving Disney and James Gunn, and his tweets from a while ago that dealt with some pretty. I don't know what the word
Delicate
for it would
situations.
be. Yeah, delicate,
Sensitive,
and basically Disney fired him from Guardians of the Galaxy 3 as their director. What do y'all think about this? Because I know it's pretty controversial, and it's kind of what the state of the world we live in right now is.
I'd like to hear what Gagne has to say first.
Yeah, the oldest man in the room.
I will start with I saw the tweets and they are very off-color jokes and inappropriate, and I understand that Disney had to do what they had to do, but it sucks. I feel like you don't know what someone's tone is, and I have this argument all the time. Like even when you're just texting a conversation back and forth with somebody, you have no idea where that conversation was, what was said, you just have this snippet, and that's what a tweet is. And if any lesson can be learned, like people just need to shut the fuck up on the internet and stop.
Amen.
And stop with your opinions and stop having to say everything that first pops in your head, because we just saw Roseanne get canned after her show had this amazing comeback, and because she said racist things. It doesn't take much now, and he was pissing the Republican news outlets off with what he was talking about with Trump, and they dug this stuff up and released it. And guess what? That's what happens. 10 years later, your career is at the top of the mountain, and now you're probably not going to be hireable.
That's a very good point. That's how the cookie crumbles, and he may not be, he may be blacklisted right now.
Yeah, and I'm somebody who does not use social media in that form. I don't tweet. I don't say that stuff. I keep my opinions to my close personal friends and family who I can have those conversations with without them being thrown, out of context. And I don't know. I don't think this guy's some horrible guy who believes what he was tweeting. They're bad jokes. That's all it was.
Well, there's a time and a place for that, though, and they put them on the internet. You're asking for it. So I don't know. What do you guys think, Felix?
I don't know. This whole thing it sucks. Honestly, the whole thing really kind of pisses me off because it is really digging for reasons to get somebody in trouble. I don't condone what he said. I saw the tweets, and it's like you're saying, they're very off-color jokes. It's very much just to get a rise out of people, which he said himself also. This is also from 2008 to 2012, I think these tweets are coming from.
2005. 2006. Took place around the first and second Guardians.
Interesting.
Long before the first Guardians, because first Guardians came out in 2014.
15.
Regardless, long after these tweets came out. So the idea that Disney didn't know about this shit is complete crock of shit. Like I find it just complete bullshit that they weren't able to find this sort of thing if they were going to find it that offensive. And the fact that this asswipe over here, this hypocritical piece of shit who called him out on this, is making his own tweets about date rape. And then he's going to go dig up shit to get somebody else in trouble. I said, I don't condone what he said, but this is from a long time ago. He doesn't do shit like that. He hasn't been caught fondling anybody. They're off-color jokes. It's very, it's not good sense of humor, but I look at his background also. He comes from that kind of background. He was highlighting trauma films, which are very kind of controversial, like ultra-violent gore films, Toxic Avenger, that sort of thing. He was also in a rock band for a lot of years also. So he very much has that punk rock kind of mentality where they just say stupid shit sometimes. You can look at Fat Mike from NoFX recently. He got his band fucking banned from the fucking country for saying shit about our city because of the whole shootings from October 1st. So that's what idiot rock stars do sometimes. And I feel like this is what he was doing. He was just trying to get shock value people to react over something just stupid, a really bad joke. But the whole thing is just a bunch of crap. I mean, I just don't like that, this guy is pretty much being punished for a bad jokes that he said a long time ago. I'm not saying defend it because it's Marvel, because it's James Gunn necessarily. It's just, I compare it to other things. There was I looked it up earlier. The director Victor Salva, he directed Jeepers Creepers, the entire trilogy. This guy was actually arrested for pedophilia and child pornography in 1988. He actually did time, and the shit wasn't dug up until I think after the second Jeepers Creepers, and he was still allowed to do his shit. Now you're telling me that fucking Disney over here is not willing to give this
homework?
Not willing to do the homework on this guy, especially a company who. You can look back at their history. They don't have the cleanest slate either. They had some pretty extremely racist shit early on in their career. You can look at Dumbo's, look at the Crows. One character's named Jim Crow, straight up. They did some pretty, bad shit that they are trying to brush under the rug also. You can look at Fantasia back in the day also. I forget what the character's name was, but there is a character who's pretty much in blackface who's half centaur.
Song of the South, the whole movie.
Song of the South. Yeah, there's a lot of racist, shit that they put out back in the day. So just to, completely punish this guy, who already put a year's worth. The movie's pretty much done. It's written. He already finished the script already for some stupid bad jokes. I get it. I don't condone what he said. I'm not trying to say that it's, he's in the right to say something like that. But, just for somebody to say something on his off time, not representing a company, but just in his own mind, just to say what he's saying to the Republicans too. I mean, you guys are all full of shit if you're not fucking thinking the same thing that he's saying out loud. That's what everybody's trying to think right now. But I don't know. I think it's still fresh right now. I'm still kind of, thinking about it in my head. But I mean, look back at yourself 10 years ago. You probably said some stupid shit that you regret. We all fucking do that sometimes. It's just thing is we don't take social media and put it out there like
I
some
say all
people.
the time that I'm so glad the internet and social media was not around when I was younger.
Exactly.
Oh,
We
yeah,
all
exactly.
said a
So
lot of
You mean
stupid stuff.
yesterday?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
No, there's so much shit that we could have gotten in trouble for that, but that's the thing though. He should know better than to throw opinions like that onto Twitter. But
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the way I see it would be more Disney's been trying to make their own correction. And I know, like you said, there's like things in the past they did. Maybe they've been trying to change. Also, one of their first steps, I mean, it may be drastic, but I would not want to be affiliated with that kind of. I mean,
Right,
to me,
right.
there's
I feel
other
it's a zero tolerance policy. That's
Right.
cool.
But I mean, the internet exposes people eventually. But you don't know. Like maybe he did something, maybe he did not. But I think Disney now is such a big company, especially now they're becoming the top 3 powerhouses, like with the whole
Have to stay
media.
clean.
Yeah, they think they have to keep their slate as clean as possible.
Can I say my?
Yeah,
here,
go
I'll
ahead. No, go
finish.
ahead.
Oh, good, Sam.
I've been waiting for a while now to say a piece about the situation because I'm pissed. All right, but this is basically blowback from that party because this week or last week he tweeted, "Fuck Mike Pence." Nice and simple.
Okay.
Fuck Mike Pence. The knee-jerk party there searched his dirty shit on Twitter and brought it back and got him fired. But these are the same people that don't even care about the Disney property. They don't even care about Guardians. They're not fans. They're just there to attack him.
well, it's political in nature.
Yeah, it's a political attack. And also, Disney / ABC had to fire him because they also fired Roseanne, who is affiliated with that party.
Okay.
So it's eye for
So
an
they
eye.
would look hypocritical if they
Exactly.
didn't.
So it's an eye for an eye situation, and it sucked. His old school tweet came back to bite him in the ass. But if you actually go look on YouTube and watch his past interviews, when the journalist brings up his tweet in the past, he's like, "That's the old me being a smartass." I made off-color joke. He admitted to it already. He explained the situation. And he grew as a person. Like as you see the progress, right? You can like all the other co-stars that have starred with him in his movies explain
Coming
that.
out in his defense.
Yeah, they came out in his defense. They're like, he grew up. Like those were his rock star days. Those were his days being a jackass. Like Flex was saying. But the thing is, he grew up. He became a better person, and he didn't take down the tweets because that's his mistake in the past. But he should have taken
He
it
was
down.
living up to it.
Yeah, he owned up to his mistakes. But for him to get taken down like this by a party and affiliation that doesn't even give a shit about our genre is bullshit, I think.
So there's just a point where they make millions of dollars. You have a lot of fans, people looking up at you. Just be a
You have
little.
a lot of followers.
So
don't put
yourself
know
in that
these words are
predicament
going to
then.
be viral.
Hold your tongue just a little bit more. Now, and as far as exposing what happened in the past, I'm a strong believer of what happened in the past stays in the past. Again, if you start attacking people, be very careful because there are other people out there willing to fight.
How far as you go across the line?
I think what we're trying to say is
moving on. So from James Gunn to Comic-Con, he decided he's not going to show up to the panels. Obviously, he's got some things to work out. So let's jump into Comic-Con, and there's tons of trailers and stuff that came out.
All the goodies.
Yeah, DC announced their official name for the DCEU now. If you guys heard about this,
No.
the Worlds of DC. So they've set it up as like a multiverse thing, I think. So now they have these 3 Joker movies coming out. They can kind of play with that a little bit.
Even when they're not doing anything, they mess stuff up.
well, they put out two trailers. Obviously, Aquaman and Shazam. Who wants to start on these? I thought they were both good.
let's
I
pick one
I
first.
enjoyed them both a lot.
Let's start with-
Aquaman, let's start off.
start with Aquaman.
Start with Aquaman. Cool.
All right.
Wait, there was a I didn't even know there was a trailer. I was just
Chai, what the hell? You're in
Try's
these
been
with us.
asleep all
Dang it,
these days.
dude, I'm just more excited with the Dragon Ball.
We'll get there.
Okay,
yeah,
we'll get
so-
there.
so-
We'll get there.
DC first.
All right, so Aquaman.
Disconnect.
We're getting his backstory.
Finally.
He was, a half breed between the Queen of Atlantis and a lightkeeper from Hawaii. And then
Fisherman.
I'm sorry. Oh,
A fisherman, right?
no, he's a lighthouse keeper.
Oh, lighthouse
It's
keeper.
his dad's lighthouse keeper.
And so he's got to go back to Atlantis and fight his half brother Orm for control of Atlantis. That's basically the storyline.
Well, I think I like the fact that they stuck to a simple storyline. They stuck to the source material. They didn't try to overcomplicate things so far in the first trailer. Okay, so we saw Manta in his gear.
Yeah.
we saw
Manta.
So
Yeah, it
cool.
was-
we
we
saw
got like 2 shots, and
Yeah,
both
he
of them
looks fucking
he was the
awesome.
coolest part of the trailer.
So
I thought.
cool,
yeah, exactly.
Got the
So,
laser eyes. It was really cool. Yeah.
I have hope so far, and I'm very optimistic about this. Like I have hope for it because they kept it simple. Like I said, they didn't try to make it too crazy or too dark. Just straight to the point. He's Aquaman. He's here to defend, to fight, and to basically earn his throne. You know,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Mira looked great. I thought
course.
all the CG with the the seahorses and the sharks coming
Oh,
at each
yeah.
other, all the aqua stuff looked cool.
It looks really
Yeah.
cool, dude. That shot where it's just zooming into Atlantis is like, holy crap. Like, I love it when the movie just takes you somewhere else. And
looks
you're just like in a
beautiful.
totally different world that kind of just feels like I could be there. Like, it looks beautiful, man.
Like
And
Star
I know
Wars?
James, yeah, it's kind of got that sort of
Last
feel to
Jedi?
it a little bit. No. Well, yeah, maybe.
Had some cool fish people,
Yeah. But like, I guess James Wan's been working on this for like a long time. So he's really been trying to perfect the special effects. And dude, it shows, man. It looks so good. I can't wait to see this.
Yeah, the cinematics for sure, just on the trailer alone. Remember, what was that movie with the Cara Delevingne, and it was like a thousand
That-
worlds?
yeah.
Valerian.
Valerian,
Should do
yeah.
1,000 Planets.
Right away, I thought about
I tried
that.
watching that. That sucked.
It was
Right. Well,
not
the
good.
graphics were great though,
Yeah.
at least in that movie, and like
It
right away, I'm going like, oh, okay, they're finally honing into the idea that could be a different world within the world, than planet Earth. Great. I don't know. I think I'm excited for the movie now.
sign me up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Black Manta. Yeah.
Yeah, it looked very cool.
Kanye?
I'm in. I was. There's definitely still that like cheese, where he does the line when he jumps on the submarine, which I guess I'll allow. But looking at the camera and making like a ha like joke, it
Right.
doesn't completely sell me, but it
Was it permission
works,
from
and the
the
movie
Lord?
looks
Yeah.
the movie looks beautiful. It looks fun. I'm sold. Good job.
I liked the kind of one line where he was a kid and the bullies were making fun of him. Oh, he talks to fish. Classic callback to
And the shark pops right up. I was like, yeah.
And I think they're bringing it back to actual orange and green armor, right?
I heard there was some
Yeah,
behind
you
the
can
scenes
see
footage.
some. Yeah,
I'm sorry.
good.
Oh no, I heard that there was a shot of him wearing the orange, so we might actually get a throwback costume at some point throughout the movie.
Sure.
I dig it. So,
Yeah,
not?
absolutely. I don't see why they shouldn't.
and I like how they actually show him talking in water, which is cool. I'm like, hey, finally,
Yeah.
because I think
And it looks
in,
pretty, just kind of natural. Like they're not really like garbled or anything.
Yeah, I
like
didn't
that,
see any
so-
air bubbles, so
Yeah.
I'm cool with it.
Yeah, Justice League, the Atlantis, was that supposed to be Atlantis? That
Yeah.
they're in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was really like dark and like dingy,
Right.
like dull looking. Like this is like really like bright
That's
and
what I'm saying.
vibrant. like
what I like.
what like
They've
slum?
heard everyone's complaining.
It was someone's basement in Atlantis. Okay,
listening.
That's what it is.
They're
It's someone's
listening.
basement.
What about you, Chad? Did you like the trailer?
Yeah, actually, I did. I just watched it. I was like, wow. So I have to say the effects of like the hair in the water, and that's really neat. I was more amazed that they did that. I was more watching the other details more than the trailer since I can't hear those.
So you can't hear it. You're like, ooh, that hair in the
Like,
water looks really
Wavy.
Chad's gonna grow out his hair like Jason Momoa.
Yeah, right?
Yeah,
Do it.
No.
Do it.
do it, Freddie.
I did.
All right, so we all like Aquaman. That was
Yes.
pretty
Yes.
good. Looks awesome.
Whoever would have thought we would have said that before.
I know. They're
I'm
finally
just
making
excited.
Aquaman
I'm just
cool,
excited
man.
for something different for the world of DC. Which,
Worlds of
by the way, when you
DC.
said that right away, I'm thinking about what is that? Willy Wonka.
Was it Chocolate Factory?
Yeah, I don't know why I'm thinking
No,
about
I got
it.
it. It just sounds cheesy.
Yeah.
All right, so moving on to Shazam. Then.
Yes.
This really had a cool kind of comedy, humor, sense of like,
Makes me think about Big right away.
okay,
It just had that vibe of Big. It's your buddy. He got superpowers. He's huge, ready to go. They had the light up lightning. Like the suit was actually really good.
I still think it's padded.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
one part.
of
I'm not
course.
sure
Oh,
if
yeah.
it's padded or not. Yeah, but I mean, I like the fact that his character stayed as a young kid. It's like, oh, I'm bullet resistance. Like bulletproof. Okay, cool. And he's like, and then when he looks at the bad guys.
So you're dead. Yeah, no, I had some good little one-liners in there. It's going to be his origin story.
Right.
Billy Batson, the orphan kid who kind of, I guess they take him on some sort of subway ride to Olympus or wherever he gets his powers.
He was running away from the bad guys that were beating him up.
Yeah,
in
and there was
school.
like one shot of a bad guy in the trailer where he threw a punch and
Mark Strong.
and it caught him.
Yep.
Yeah, and that was like the one little plot, hint on that. Other than that, it was just kind of showing the comedy of him playing the kid, which I
Right.
thought they nailed.
Yeah, definitely. As long as Mark Strong's not Sinestro, we're good.
In
Don't
what
think
way,
he looks
Sam?
like it.
Yeah. No, it definitely reminds me of the movie, this cartoon movie Shazam that came out a few years ago.
Yeah.
And especially in that subway scene, it's exactly the way they had it in that movie. So I'm excited. It's another DC movie that I'm looking forward to seeing.
It looks very light to me. Like I enjoy it. It's lighter. It's not that, like I said, that dark tone again.
because it's lightning.
Yeah, like they Have a little joke in there about why it's so dark.
Yeah.
But definitely like what they did. They have hints of the connection.
Yeah.
So like if people
did.
have no idea,
Yeah.
like especially like the only way I knew Shazam was watching the cartoon series. So if I was a person who had no clue what this was, seeing like the Batman, the newspaper, Superman, that would definitely like push. Oh, I guess there's, and then it should give some kind
Same
of
world,
incentive.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a good catch there.
Yeah, I dug it. I was so taken aback by the tone of it the first time around that I had to watch it immediately afterwards. I'm like, what the hell did I just watch? It was like super like kiddish right away. I'm like
Popcorn.
I was thinking, I don't know Shazam that well. I know he's the original Captain Marvel, but like, was he always just like kind of kid friendly?
Yeah.
I guess. I mean, I know he's a kid, but no. So once I got that in my mind the second time around, I'm like, this looks fucking awesome. This looks like really, really fun. The one shot that I really love though is the second time he says Shazam and he transforms when he's charging towards the camera.
Yeah.
He just says Shazam and that lightning bolt comes down and it's like, oh,
Yeah,
that's
it's a
such a
good
good shot, dude. Like I love the costume. I'm still trying to figure out. Like it looks cool for what it is. It looks better in motion.
Right.
I like the hood. I like that it's very accurate to the
Yeah.
comics. It just looks very padded. I guess I'm not asking for a shirtless pic. I just kind of want to
Get over it.
what's he
Get
actually
over
packing.
it.
I know. I'm just saying that it looks very padded. But
Not everybody can pull the bat.
They're trying
the
to be
bat line.
comic book accurate, just like the
it looks
orange
good.
and green
I know,
for
it looks
Aquaman.
good. I'm just saying, is this guy really going to stack up to The Rock? Because I'm looking at this guy right now, and
Yeah.
when is
Fighting
Black Adam
Black
going to come
Adam.
into play? Because I cannot at all picture these two being in the same frame doing those characters, unless the Black Rock, unless Black Adam, unless Black Adam is going to be super comical, and lighthearted too.
Copyright that. Someone copyright that
The
right
Black
now.
Rock. Yeah. But yeah, unless he's going to be super lighthearted too, I just don't know how these two are going to match. I want to see how it plays out, but overall, I'm excited for this. I just want to know how is this going to connect, if they're at all going to try to directly connect it to the what is it called? DC Worlds?
Worlds of DC.
The Worlds of DC.
Ganya, where are you at this?
It looks super entertaining. We've been
Super.
dogging Zachary Levi, right, for
Right.
a while
Yes.
now with the padded, suit, and it looked like a joke. But man, I was really surprised they took it this way, but really entertained by it. So I'm looking forward to it. And I think that if they even get a Black Adam off the, it's how long have they been talking about it? There's still nothing. They're not even shooting it. They're not like. They're just going to do a movie, and if they could tie it in later, they can, I'm sure, figure that out. But right now, they picked a fun way to go with it, and yeah,
I'm just
I'm
waiting for the
impressed.
Rock's schedule to open up.
Maybe they are, and they just maybe more fun to keep it on like an actual download and just be
Nothing stays quiet anymore.
They're not the
So
Russo
Come
brothers.
on, man.
Do you
Yeah.
think
Not
we'll,
the
do you
Russo
think we
brothers.
might get a cameo at all by The Rock?
I believe so.
maybe.
Possibly.
If they're smart, they would do
strong
like an after
possibility.
credit.
I would think they have to at
or
least.
an
honestly.
Aquaman cameo at least, since Aquaman's coming out in pretty much the same time frame.
It'd be
you know.
nice to have them
Something.
connect.
I mean, I feel like they could put some of the more lighthearted characters in there, like I don't know, maybe Blue Beetle somehow, or like
When's
Booster
the
Gold.
release for Shazam?
They're the lighter characters.
Blue
compared to, like,
Beetle,
why not?
Shazam,
Say again.
When's the release for Shazam? The release date?
2019, right?
I know Aquaman's coming out December.
Yeah, it's not till next year sometime.
Yeah.
All right.
But I like it. I like kudos to the whole comic book accurate looking of Shazam. I
The
mean, I
source
know it's
material?
I know it's padded. I don't care. I don't care. I just want to look okay. If I'm looking at Shazam, I don't want no lanky ass dude pretending like he's all buff. No, put some paddings on him. I don't care. We all know that it's all CG in the first place. Hey, let's just get over it. It's
Wait,
fine.
he's not really flying?
You're correct. Yeah. But then, here we are, Incredible Hulk. Oh my God, he's the best Incredible Hulk. Yeah, he's a fucking CG character. So, and then here we are. We're talking about, oh, he's padded. Well, no shit. No one can really, who's human, can really.
Seen The Rock?
Come on.
Even
Ben
he-
Affleck and
Have
Henry
you seen
Cavill
Chris
do the same
Hemsworth
thing.
as
Yeah.
Thor? Like,
Yeah,
They
you
can
seen
do
all
it.
those Chris's? They are all fucking cut.
yeah.
So I think Shazam set to announce on April 2019,
Right.
which is right around the same time as Avengers, I think.
Oh shit!
Ooh.
Yeah.
I'm sure
Probably a
they'll switch
couple
that
weeks
around.
before. Yeah.
It's got to be like
Well-
between Captain Marvel and Avengers, I think.
He's gonna get zapped.
I'm just saying, sounds like a double feature for our group.
What about the idea that Marvel never showed up for a Hall of H presentation?
Well, they
this year?
had a booth, but they weren't worried about Hall H at all this
Yeah.
year. They're cocky enough, dude. They got enough money. They're like,
yeah, they've got our money, so
Yeah.
that's what it is, really.
good.
I would rather them not kind of do what they did with Phase 3, where they announced everything like 6 years in advance, because sometimes things just don't pan out that way. Like, because all of a sudden they were able to include Spider-Man, so that changed things up. And then don't forget, Inhumans was originally supposed to be a movie. They announced it as a full-length movie, and we saw what happened with that.
Yeah, that was terrible.
Yeah.
Well, Inhuman was written and directed by the dude from Iron Fist, so there's that.
Yeah, no, yeah, that sucks. Yeah, don't forget,
Anyway, off to better things.
my boy Danny Rand's getting a second season. Don't forget.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
terrible.
yeah.
Moving.
Just worth noting that Captain Marvel showing up a month before Shazam. So, just saying.
Sounds marvelous.
So,
Shi's our studio laugh track.
Anyway, moving on. I think we're all in agreement. Shazam looks funny. Check it out. Won't be as dark as BBS. Anyway,
still a great movie.
That one's for Eddie. That one's for Eddie.
we also had new
Martha.
trailers for Glass and
yeah.
Fantastic Beasts 2.
Dude.
Both
And-
looked really cool.
Godzilla.
Godzilla.
And, yes, and
Godzilla.
Godzilla.
So many.
And Ghidorah.
Yes. Let's start with Godzilla because they had a lot of cool.
Oh my
monsters.
god!
What do you think,
Oh my
Nick?
god!
I like
Probably-
it. I thought-
Japan's invading.
Freaking love
Japan's
it.
invading the
I'm
world.
not. I thought the music choice was a little weird for it, but I feel like overall, though, I thought the visuals were cool. Was it King Ghidorah at
They
the
showed
end?
off
Like,
some
oh my
cool
god,
stuff,
that looks
man,
so.
that's
Dude,
for sure.
Mothra looks so sick.
Yeah.
And then Rodan coming out of the volcano.
Yes.
looks so awesome.
That scene with Mothra unfurling his wings, right?
on Mothra,
That was
yeah.
so cool.
Yeah.
So is King Kong supposed to be in this? Or?
No, not yet.
No.
Well,
Okay.
we don't know yet. It's only the first trailer, so we'll see.
I'm hoping they save him for a little cameo role.
Because you can't call it the King of Monsters without King Kong. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
But in the Japanese actual like movie, it was, I believe it was everyone was against Ghidorah.
Okay.
So I believe if they're gonna make Ghidorah the main villain,
Right.
you know,
They're
with
gonna
the
team
three-headed,
up.
yeah, they're all in Mothra and the whole works. It's gonna be great. I love how they made all these monsters to be some sort of majestic creatures, and I love that idea.
They did.
And-
The theme was like they're trying to find the Titans, right? The
Yeah.
original
Right.
Titans of the world.
Yeah,
and
to
they're
save the
trying to
planet.
Save the
Yeah.
planet, exactly.
Right, and then I love that idea. And even there was the Millie Bobby Brown. She's
Yeah.
in one of the
From
main
Stranger
characters.
Things.
Yeah.
Right? She's one of the.
And in that one of the trailers, you see just a big old cloud coming in, like there's a big storm coming, but it's not really storm. It's like I think Mon Mothra possibly
Right.
flying over, and it's causing all this big sandstorm because it's.
Gigantic wings. Picking up
Exactly.
stuff, right?
I love that idea. Like
Yeah.
no one actually even thought about that until now. I love it. I'm excited for it. I'm in.
Everybody else?
Yeah.
Sign me up, dude.
I've watched it, I think, 3 times already. Visually, it's beautiful. I think it fits right in with this week's talking about movie scores. I liked the trailer. I liked the way it was cut. I liked that they kind of tease who's in it, but not give you a lot about their backstory. Just show you
What's
these
coming.
beautiful, epic shots of here's what you're going to see, these beautiful monsters that you haven't seen since they were really shitty on screen in the, I don't know,
Yeah, totally
70s, 80s, like in puppet
Rubber suits
land.
anymore.
Right. I mean, it's just, hey, look what we can do with special effects now, and if we can get some good storytellers to do with, you know, I liked the last Godzilla. I thought it was entertaining. It wasn't great, but it was an improvement, and
I agree.
I'm looking forward to this so
The one
much.
with Bryan Cranston, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I thought it was improvement over the '90s one.
Yeah, a little bit.
Which Ken Watanabe's coming back, right? To
Yeah, he's in
replay
it
his
again.
role.
Yeah, he's in the trailer, I believe.
Great.
Yeah, love him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that looked really cool. I liked Ghidorah's yellow lightning, for real specific on that one, and a lot of just cool, epic long shots of
Oh, definitely.
like Ghidorah under the ice was cool.
I feel like this will definitely be a fan service type of film. Like they listen to the fan
Yeah.
base, they're like, "We're gonna get this right for once."
I
We're
hope
gonna
so.
get it right.
I think that's why they just showed like quick images, because we know what that is. Like you
Oh,
didn't need to
right.
explain anything. As soon as you saw those
Yep.
silhouettes of those characters, I'm like, oh my god! Yeah, I just got so excited
Gosh,
for
It's
everyone.
going down.
Yeah,
It's like a franchise has been around for how many years now?
it's
Oh my God,
Decades.
I don't even know.
Since our parents have been kids.
And then hopefully Ultraman.
Oh my God! Oh,
That's
go
when,
shy.
that's when we seal the deal.
I love it.
I don't think a lot of
I
people know
love
about
it.
Ultraman, but he's fucking epic. Ultraman is the bomb, bro.
Anybody
Yeah.
talk shit on Ultraman? I used to love that.
I love Ultraman, bro. I love Ultraman.
We need to strike poses like that.
There you go.
It's basically
The original
It's
Ginyu
basically
Force.
Ginyu Force. Yeah.
the Ginyu Force.
Shit.
Oh, my God.
All right, so we also got a trailer for Glass. They got all the 3 characters in the psych ward, and
That shit was fucking brilliant.
Yeah,
That's
they're
what I was
kind of
fucking
breaking
saying.
down each kind of personality. and
Exactly.
I guess the shrink thinks they all kind of think they're superheroes. I don't know. It looks creepy. What do you guys think?
I think it looks good. I didn't know what to expect at all
Right.
with any of this, honestly, because like, how do you connect these movies that are so far apart, but they're still so like perfectly interlinked? So yeah, I was I was honestly kind of surprised that it all takes place like within a psych ward, but
Right.
why not? I mean, like all these characters are pretty much nuts enough, and I just love James McAvoy. I think he's just such an awesome like character actor, and like that's the thing about Split that I love, because overall I thought the movie was just fine, but his performance is what like sells that movie so hard.
so amazing.
Seeing him in this again and seeing those little sprinkles of each one of those characters that he plays come out is so good. And goddamn, that guy is swole. Those God, dude, he is so jacked nowadays. But I'm really excited to see how these characters like match up. I can't wait to see McAvoy versus Bruce Willis. I think that's gonna be such a good pair up right there. But yeah, I can't wait.
I feel like they're probably gonna break out the mental institute for sure, just because Mr. Glass, like in a trailer, you can see he's already calculating how to break out, right? And the fact that he approached and asked to meet the monster itself, and they're like, "Hope he likes you." I was like, "Oh shit, it's only gonna lead to bad territory in a good way." And to see Bruce Willis staring at his hoodie cape situation that he wears, like the raincoat,
Yep, his little cloak.
yeah, his little cloak. I'm like, "Oh man, this trailer is
Comeback hat.
so good, dude. It's gonna be great, I think." And I didn't know where they're gonna include the girl from Split. But when she showed up, I was like, "Oh shit, that's gonna be dope," because she's part of the universe too.
Yeah,
So I mean,
Anya Taylor-Joy.
yeah.
No, that's. I think it's gonna be revolving around Sam Jackson mainly, right?
Mr. Glass.
Yeah,
It's
the whole
called
thing,
Glass.
Yeah. So
I mean, the way the trailer looked like it was set up was that, yeah, they all meet in the psych ward, but then he clearly was like, "Oh, this is my secret weapon right here. I can, unleash this monster to the world," and now Bruce Willis is going to stop it. So everybody can jump back on the M. Night bandwagon.
I still can't forgive him for
As long as how it ends is better than how it ends.
Oh, I see what you did there.
as long as it's not like Signs
Exactly.
Oh,
like
stop.
Can we have a tally? Can we have
The
a tally?
Village.
or The Village.
Village
Yeah.
is the
We're going to have
worst.
an M.
Okay.
Night day because I never got off the bandwagon. I like this guy.
We should have an episode about best
That
M.
Night
Night
movie?
Shyamalan movie we hate to watch.
Best worst Shyamalan movie. All right. Well, anyway,
So you can't pick Unbreakable or The Sixth Sense or Signs.
there you go.
Right? Can we do that?
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, he did a big injustice with Avatar. I just want to let you guys know.
I'll
that.
take Devil. It's really stupidly
It was-
bad, but
it
it's
was bad.
it's
I
entertaining to
actually
make fun
like
of.
that movie.
I liked it.
It's-
Yeah, I love the premise of the whole movie.
I'm not going to get into it right now, but Jelly Side Down. It's so
I kind of
stupid.
forgot that he did the Last Airbender for Sam. Thank you for reminding me that.
Which I still think that
So-
movie was entertaining.
Get
so.
the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of
As
here.
entertaining
No.
as like the Dragon Ball
That-
movie.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh,
or Chun
God.
Li.
My God, get us out of here.
All right. Yeah.
Okay, next one.
And it's
Go for it.
fun.
Next one, Fantastic Beasts 2. It's more of a second trailer, so we've kind of seen some of the storyline. It shows a little bit more of Johnny Depp's Grindelwald, which I love him as a villain. That's why I can't wait to see this movie. I kind of feel like this Fantastic Beast, though, is a little bit like The Hobbit is to Lord of the Rings,
Yes.
kind of like a lesser version. So I'm not really like stupid excited to go watch this in the theater, but I don't know. What do you guys think?
I feel like there's a sequel to the first Pokemon Go movie. So
Oh,
like,
geez.
What?
Got to catch them all.
yeah.
Did
Well,
you see when
technically,
Oh, God.
technically, the first movie was kind of like Pokemon Go, right?
Jesus Christ.
He was chasing down all the animals,
Jesus Christ.
getting all the creatures, put them back in his little suitcase. But I mean, the magicalness to the film itself, I will enjoy for sure. You know what I mean? The way the storyline's being told. We get to see a younger Dumbledore, you know, how he can't attack.
I love Jude Law as that.
Yeah.
Should be
Dude,
cool.
Jude Law's gonna do a good job. Seriously, it's a good cast, and I can't wait to see more of the interaction between Newt Scamander and what's her name, Zoe Kravitz.
Playing
his
Lita. Yeah, she's playing Lita. Oh my God, I can't. Lestrange.
Okay.
The character
Okay.
Helen
Lestrange.
Bonham Carter. Yeah, she's related to that.
Okay.
Yeah. She's his love interest from the first movie. So to see her actually show up in this one, I want to see the interaction, how she damaged him. You know.
Okay. Progression of his character.
Yeah, definitely.
What do you think, Felix?
I didn't see this trailer because I didn't see the first movie, so I have no idea what's
Okay.
going on here, honestly.
First movie's
it's fun, dude.
fantastic.
If I have a confession to make, I never finished a Harry Potter series either.
Oh, wow.
You don't
Oh my
have to.
God.
I watched them all. I mean, most of them. I
They
just
get better as they go.
I got up to like the Order of the Phoenix, and I think I got distracted and I never got back.
Oh my God.
I'll finish them.
This is a good- this is one of the
I'm
best
gonna
ones. Order of
finish
the
them.
Phoenix is great.
Is it? Okay. Anyways, but yeah, Fantastic Beasts. I don't know what's going on here. My mom's excited. I know that, so it should be cool, I guess. Not calling her out. I mean, hey, my mom has great taste. I'm sure it'll be great.
Yeah, she
I
had you.
just don't know
so-
anything about it. Yeah, I know. See?
There you go.
Thank you, Mom.
Hey, I'm kudos to mom.
Yeah, tell her
Props
thank
to
you.
Miss Felix.
Thank you.
No, it's gonna be a great movie. I'm a big fan of Harry Potter, so yeah, I'm in. You know, I'm in all the way.
But there's no Harry Potter.
The whole world of Harry Potter, sir. The wizard.
The
worlds-
wizarding
The
world.
worlds of Harry Potter.
Which,
There's pre.
funny enough, I've still yet to go to Universal Studios and go to the Harry Potter
yeah.
world. Only because
skip the LA one.
really.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's not worth the money.
We went there. Was it last year or the year before that when we went to the Horror Nights for Universal Studio, and I'm like, oh, maybe they'll have the Harry Potter or something kind of scary, but they had closed down. So anyway,
That's
Why?
too bad.
yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to go get a butterbeer.
Delicious.
As it, but
How much was the butterbeer? $10.
Like
Probably,
$12
but you gotta keep the
probably.
glass.
Yeah.
goes down like butter.
But you get a wand straw, and then you're just a wizard
Oh,
all day
snap.
long.
So you can suck it down easier.
Well,
Yikes.
Still-
$12 for
I'm
butterbeer.
still in.
Probably fun.
All right. Anything else on trailers? Is there anything else?
I have a
dropped?
couple.
Yeah, you got a couple.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna start off with the Dragon Ball Super movie about Broly.
Oh yeah.
Oh, dude. That
Come
looks
I still didn't see
crazy.
the trailer for this, so
Oh,
Okay,
Akira
so-
Toriyama.
Brawly's back, I guess.
It's a Dragon Ball Super movie, so it's a different timeline, but it's about Broly again, and they're gonna retell the story. And from what they're saying, he's wearing a necklace, kind of like the same one from the first movie, but it's possibly controlled by Frieza.
Okay.
Nerd.
Wait, so this is like the Dragon Ball Super universe that's going on right now.
Yeah.
Correct.
So this is
Nope.
quick history, folks. There's Dragon Ball, there's Dragon Ball Z, there's Dragon Ball GT. That shit sucks, so that doesn't exist anymore. So now Dragon Ball
Did they
Super is there.
actually read that up?
Yeah, no, straight up.
Yeah.
They're like,
haven't watched any
Actually,
of Super,
I have
so-
I have an add-on to that later. We'll put that.
Okay.
Side note.
Yeah, so that's a history lesson for later. But yeah, apparently Broly was a character that happened sometime in Dragon Ball Z, and he's a big giant Saiyan. He's really pissed off at Kakarot because he wouldn't stop crying as a baby, and he's back, right?
Pretty
Back,
much.
deadly, super form, ready to kick ass. Pretty
So
much ready.
I think because the Super series took off really well, and I think they wanted to make what's it called? Obviously, it doesn't really look good when in the Super series, like the Super series, where somebody who has that girl. Did you get to watch most of it? Well,
Most of it.
Well, they reintroduced a female character that has Saiyan powers, and she has the power as Broly, like the first ones that we know. So but it really showed that her powers were on par as a Super Saiyan God. So which means that the scale really makes the power scale comes off really weird, because obviously if Goku's growing to that level, then the old Broly should just be garbage and weak.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I think because the girl really introduced like a whole new level, power level, I think they could just probably reboot Broly and just said, hey, Broly's power is like
Equal to Goku's.
yeah,
He's gotta
equal or
find somebody.
beyond,
Yeah.
So it's a little. So I think it's dope. I mean, I like the idea that they're continuing that, because I don't know. I mean, at this point, I don't know who the hell is gonna get. I don't know what the fucking power level is anymore.
Nobody ever died.
No.
I'm waiting
It's
for
over
Cell- I'm waiting for Cell to come back.
9,000.
We're beyond we're beyond 4 digits at this point.
well, they're beyond God level now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And I love how they're using colors to really define your power
Oh,
levels. This
yes.
one, Brawly's like super duper form is going to be green.
Really?
So as if Super Saiyan God is
Blue,
Well,
red to
it was
blue,
red and then
red
it
and
became
then
blue.
blue. Blue
yeah.
is the serene level, right?
super.
Yeah, super level.
God.
Yeah.
God mode.
And then there's
Super
the what's the
Now Ultra
KO
Instinct.
can.
the Ultra Instinct is white.
Yeah, it's
Which,
gray, white.
where basically Goku becomes really skinny because all of his energy is being exposed out of his body, but he's super fast, so he's super agile, but he's not as strong. And so
It's supposed to be all reflex. It's supposed to be
all
purely
reflex,
just
yeah.
instinct. That's
so
what it is.
he's basically like the drunken master at that point. What he sounds
So
like.
maybe they're gonna try to
I got a lot to catch up on.
re-show you.
Yeah.
I hope we interest you guys on this.
Oh, it's
amazing.
it's awesome, man.
I'll
I
go see
mean,
the movie, but I got like, how many seasons of Super is there? Did it finish?
It's only one season, but it's
only
just
one
you
season.
just
It's over now.
One season.
it's
There's
been
like
over.
60-some episodes, right?
Yeah, it's just
It's
60
not
plus.
that bad. It's not like
I
Dragon
thought it
Ball
was
Z.
over 100.
No, 60 plus episodes. Yeah.
But the thing is, I'm excited for it because it's getting a theatrical release. So I'm like, yes, we're all gonna watch it in theater.
Do you remember what happened last time we saw a Dragon Ball movie in the theater?
We don't talk about that.
What do you mean? What
The
was
soundtrack that was not on. So for the first 30 minutes of the movie, the entire audience was doing like power-ups with Goku.
It became,
Which movie was that?
It became
That
Mr.
was
Science
Battle
Theater
of the Gods, I
3000.
think.
Really?
Yeah,
I was
Battle
there
of
with
the
you
Gods.
guys, wasn't there?
Maybe it was the one before that, but that happened.
Yeah, this one was horrible. Like, they fucked up the projections, and everyone's just making Dragon Ball Z jokes throughout the whole thing now.
They
And
played
we're
the
like,
first half of the
shit.
movie with no sound.
Exactly.
So what did
Bunch
they
of
think that we were
dickheads.
gonna do?
Yeah.
How do you feel about this, Gagne?
Oh, I didn't know we were still talking. What?
I'm so sorry.
He doesn't have a
Sorry,
dog in the
guys.
fight.
Yeah, no, I've never watched an episode in my life and never
Jesus.
understood why anyone wanted to. So I just keep it that way. It's
Oh,
Gosh.
what we're
it's
doing
not-
when you get in town?
Wow.
You're gonna
Okay.
learn today, boy.
Dragon Ball is super.
But back to that quick side note.
No for certified.
Back to the quick side note, because the movie is gonna take a while before it comes out. They actually went through with the fan base. They they continued that series, the Super series, with a fan base where they let GT collide with the Super. So now you have you have
Right.
two Gokus in one universe,
Right.
and then it's a fan base, so it's all like So they're trying this new thing out. It's for fun. It continues off like
Do we get the Vegeta with a mustache?
no,
Ah.
they don't introduce
pink
that
shirt.
yet, but they introduced Super Saiyan 4
Right.
and then versus Super Saiyan God.
Right.
But it's like an older, but but it's a 10 minutes episodes, which is really
I'll see it.
The GT wasn't created by Toriyama, so
No.
and that's why when he came back to do the Super, it was a big deal.
He was like, "Fuck that."
Yeah. So
Yeah.
and the fact
Rewrite.
that
All right, cool.
they pulled a Marty McFly.
Exactly. Well, we'll probably go see that in theaters and let everybody know how awesome it is.
Hell yeah!
Yeah. All right.
What else you guys saying?
Moving on. What do we got?
I also have the continuation of Young Justice season 3, available on DC All Access.
There you go.
Not a
For
sponsor.
$75 a month
Yeah.
or a year.
Wait,
Or a
I'm
year.
gonna borrow your login, right, Adam?
Yeah.
Can I
I
borrow
was
your
like
login?
$75 a month. What the heck?
Well,
Wait,
75 for
Sorry, a
the
year.
75 for the year. 75 for the year.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's,
Someone
it's like
borrow-
$6.50 a month. It's not really that bad.
Whose login
Bad,
can't
man.
borrow?
We just
I'll
all
trade
pitch in
you
a dollar
all,
each.
NFL
for all
Sunday
the
Pass.
animated stuff that I haven't watched yet, I'll probably pick, I'll
Dude,
do a
I'll-
year and y'all can.
I'll watch it just
Bum
for the
up.
Batman remaster because they're doing the Batman animated series remastered.
Oh, yeah?
I will
Oh,
absolutely
yeah.
give it my money just for that.
Oh yeah, I'm in.
Yeah, I know, right?
when you said that, I'm like, what? Okay, man.
That's all I wanted for it.
Worth it.
Are you in, Gagne? You're gonna pitch in with us for a DC All Access?
I feel like we could split that cost.
Yeah, we can get a group login for
DCAA.
that for sure.
7 of us.
Yeah.
You said what? $6 a
Yeah.
month. So
Yeah.
7. Yeah,
Like a
$1
dollar a
each.
month.
we can
Yeah,
do
there
it.
you go.
Shit.
Well, it's a business write-off.
Listen out for our Patreon
Yeah,
coming
right.
soon.
Oh, we can't just do a GoFundMe.
Go fund me for a DCAA
Nice.
access.
Fun Nofa's DC.
No, for DC. There you go.
Get us a DC.
Well, to say, so it's a continuation, right, of Young Justice from season 1 and 2 that was available on Cartoon Network. What happened was they did season 3, and they were working on it, and they were gonna bring it back to Cartoon Network, but DC held it off because they found out they're gonna do the DC All Access streaming program.
Sure.
So they brought that as a highlight to bring the audience over.
Okay.
It's always a darker tone animation. Storyline's a little more serious. They featured a character named Aquaman that wasn't really featured in the comic book series.
I
They
remember
brought
him.
him here to this, and it's gonna be really great because they have to actually pick up where Barry died. Because at the end of season 2, he dissipates into the Speed Force, like he's gone.
I thought it was
Nobody-
Wally.
nobody
Isn't it-
dies,
Isn't it
so-
Wally?
Huh?
Isn't it Wally that died?
I'm trying to remember, was it Barry or
No,
Wally?
Barry Allen was the
older one?
Flash. Yeah, this is Wally
So it was
West.
Wally. All right.
Yeah.
But Artemis, like it ends with Artemis in tears because like her dude's gone. So the new trailer, they wake up a few years later. They're trying to slowly reassemble the team. So I just can't wait to see how it plays out because I like the tone.
I know it was kind of a pretty good hit, and then it got canceled, so a lot of people were pissed off at that. So
Yeah.
I love it. If they're gonna do a whole like Netflix style where the season comes out and you can watch the whole season in one, I am in. $6.50. To give me my change back, I'm in. So
Just remember, fuck Batman.
hey, animated series, bro, I'm in, bro.
Definitely.
yeah.
The animated series looks a lot better than the
Then-
Titan live action series.
Let's talk
yeah,
about that for a second.
That was pretty,
All right.
yeah. Let's just
Go ahead,
briefly
Flex.
talk about how
Go
bad
for
that
it.
was. So
Go for it, Flex.
Oh, yeah, I'm fucking psyched about this because no, what the fuck? No, I'm sorry, no.
Blood pressure.
It's just like I don't know. I mean, is this Teen Titans or just Titans? Because these guys
Teen
are coming
Titans.
off
Technically, Teen Titans.
extremely
Call it
angsty. This
Titans.
Dick Grayson is coming off as more of a Jason Todd than anything else, and he's straight up just killing everybody. And fuck Batman, because that's the one thing I got out of that. It just, I don't know. As soon as I heard that, I'm like, oh wow, they're really trying hard to just be edgy and just be real dark, and just everybody's just blood everywhere. Like it just like
blood everywhere.
it just went
Steps
like,
on somebody's
really
neck,
dark all of a sudden.
breaks his
Like,
neck.
holy crap! I was like, just ease into it a little bit, like pump the brakes a little bit. And I don't know, some of the character designs I'm not thrilled on.
Starfire.
Like who?
Starfire looks terrible.
And
I'm
Beast
sorry.
Boy.
And I don't know. Yeah, Beast Boy just looks like a
The only two
I'm
characters
sorry.
that looks good from the trailer, honestly, in my opinion, was Hawk and Dove.
they look
Hawk
good.
and Dove were the only two people that actually looked like their characters. You know?
Okay.
So
They were
I
real quick,
appreciate
like,
that.
I don't even hate
Lions.
Raven. I think she looks fine. I mean, she looks as like as realistic as a person could look. I just kind of. I mean, she could look a little bit more witch-like, I guess. But
I feel like
thought she
she's
looked
too much of an innocent type kid instead of like a rebel or kind of angsty. She's
yeah, Robin's absorbing all that.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's true. I guess they can't have two of them the same character.
That's so Raven.
Yeah. Somebody made a tweet that was just like really like hilarious. Is when the guys that I follow, he's like, holy crap, the world's gone insane. Robin just said fuck.
I know, right? Not holy smokes, Batman.
Yeah.
Just fuck Batman.
Jiminy Crickets.
Who's playing Starfire?
I don't know the actress's name.
She's from 24. That's all I remember.
She just looks like a hooker.
Is that-
That's my
Yeah, she was
problem.
in the
She looks
24
terrible.
reboot.
Oh, the reboot.
Yeah.
Okay. That
Yeah.
was not
And Beast
good
Boy just
either.
looks like a little like raver, like with green hair.
I don't understand what he's wearing.
I have no
Yeah.
idea. It can't be worse than.
Looks like an
Inhumans.
80s jumpsuit.
I mean, were they trying to make it like, more relatable for people? Like, so they made him you just completely changed the character looks and like,
Right. Throw plain
I
clothes
just-
on him.
like, yeah. I mean, if you're trying to launch a service, a pay service, like have good stuff. Like, I don't understand. Like you could have gone a little more older, and if you wanted it to be edgy compared to your TV universe where Berlanti's doing his magic with stuff, like it just I don't know. Just be true to the story. Like, God.
I agree, bro.
And in all defense, not to cut you off, but the Titans though is the idea of the Titans were the bench players for the main class A guys like Batman, Superman, where Robin is in charge of this group. Now, the whole fuck Batman ordeal, I get it. It's a little off the wall, but I'm actually interested in it only because I like the idea that we're taking in a different side of DC, and if they can just stick within the idea. The Teen Titans has always been about their the demographic between all Teen Titans, I guess, all the characters and how they get along together. And I don't know if you ever seen the Titans show. It's really great. It's really adult rated storyline. So was it the Young Titans or the ones on Cartoon Network?
Teen
Sam?
Titans Go.
Teen Titans. You're talking about the regular Teen Titans?
Yeah, the Teen Titans. Yeah, and it's very
that was a good storyline.
adult rated and all that
Yeah.
stuff.
It
Yeah,
was more
so-
like a Young Justice.
Yeah.
correct.
It
Yeah.
was before Young Justice.
So this is really more taking that and more live action, more relatable, I guess. Like to Flex's point, more edgy in a sense, so people can want to watch it.
It feels
I'm
like
in it.
a millennial
I'm
version of Teen Titans.
very millennial. Yes,
Very
correct.
millennial.
What
Yes.
Is it on CW?
No, this is part of the DC streaming
The
service.
this is part of
DCAA,
the
sir.
This is like kind of what they're leading with. Like this is like
So
our
it's
headliner
like
right here.
Their Black Label TV show.
So could they do $650 a month and then cancel when you don't like it?
Oh, see, I thought there was supposed to be a monthly subscription too. I thought there wasn't just an annual option.
I didn't hear
I have
anything
no
about
idea.
that.
There's a
There's a-
monthly. Yeah, it's like $6 or $7.99.
Yeah, because I'll absolutely trial that for a month. I mean,
Well, the thing is, I appreciate because we're gonna get a Harley Quinn animated TV show, a Swamp Thing animated series, but not only that, but we actually have access to the full library of DC,
Yeah,
like
that's
the
why I'm
full
gonna get
access.
it.
That's
Yeah.
why
comics.
All
it's
that.
definitely worth the $7 for
Yeah,
sure.
let's go
in my
watch
book.
Superman 4.
And they also will have the Batman too.
Hey,
The
I'll watch
classic
Batman.
Batmans. I
All
love
of
Tim
them.
Burton Batmans.
Of course.
Sign me
Hell
up.
yeah.
Dude, the
Had a
first
great
two are some of the
soundtrack.
best. Yeah, man.
Oh,
And score.
So good.
Oh,
Yeah.
Is that segue?
Wait.
Just trying
Careful,
to
your
get us on
segue
topic.
showing.
All
It's because
right.
he's a Cowboys fan.
Let's oh yeah, my Cowboys showing too. All right, so let's jump to we did soundtracks in a previous episode.
Yes.
This week we're gonna do scores. Felix, what's the difference?
So, a soundtrack is basically a compilation of previously written music by artists, just compiled together, just to kind of represent, what the movie is. So you can look at Pulp Fiction. Tarantino, he's great at it. He gets a really awesome, pop, rock music and puts it all together to represent the films. A score is original music written directly for the film. It's usually what you hear underlying throughout the movie, subtle moments, all that subtle violins that you hear throughout, or a famous theme. Like you'll hear those iconic music pieces.
Like the Batman theme.
Batman theme, the Superman theme. You can go
Mission Impossible.
Mission Impossible. James Bond has one. Star Wars, of course, Jaws. It's like 2 notes in there, but it's still one of the more famous
exactly
things.
What it is.
Yep, that's all it is. So that's what a score is. So yeah, we kind of just we're discussing what stands out the most to us. Like what is some of our favorite music pieces. From our favorite films. There you go. Who wants to start out?
Gagne?
Yeah, so I led with kind of an odd one, but I kept going back to it as much as I tried to stay off my I wanted to say Dark Knight basically, and I thought everyone was going to pick that, but it's a fantastic Hans Zimmer score, and it lifts those epic moments to new heights. When the whole chase scene in downtown, Gotham, if you will, which is set behind the score is it's probably one of my favorite 15 minutes of film. It's intense and it draws you in, but my favorite of all time, and it still is, I listened to it this weekend, was the Last of the Mohicans, Michael Mann film with Daniel Day-Lewis, early 90s. The score was done by a guy who did a lot of scores, just not a lot of well-known, giant movies, Trevor Jones and Randy Edelman, and it's just, honestly, something about the scenes and the way it's set up and the way the score just kind of ties into those scenes. They're very dramatic scenes where there's not a lot of dialogue and it's a lot of scenery, and you just kind of have to get swept up in the emotion. And I love that score still, and I had to pick it.
We're playing a little bit of the score in the background here.
Can't hear it, Gagne, but it's there.
So dramatic.
If you haven't seen it, it's one of Michael Mann's best movies. This guy wrote Heat and did Miami Vice, Collateral, Manhunter, the very first Hannibal Lecter film.
Was this a Hans Zimmer soundtrack score?
Nope.
No?
Trevor Jones, Randy Edelman. 2 guys did half the score each, so it's kind of interesting. But yeah,
Very cool.
I'm gonna have to go back and watch this movie. I think I've seen it once when I was 3.
It's pretty epic sounding.
With your binky?
Awesome.
You watch on VHS? Is that what happened?
Probably.
Betamax.
Good choice. Good choice. Who's
like
next?
I'll go. So, since everybody has, I had a second choice, but I just didn't. Anyway, my first choice is definitely Incredibles. Any of 1 or 2, so it doesn't matter. So the theme itself has that classic, has that jazz and blues, has that classic style of the old school Batman, the TV series, the
60s Batman.
Yeah, it has those every time they're in action. It's really good. It's just, what's it called? I like the funky music. It's it has that James Bond
for sure.
and it has the James Bond feel. The intro has that little James Bond feel to it. So it really has a lot of elements. Even though it's a kids movie, but in general, it really has a good, diverse style of everything. So
He's one of my favorites right now. Michael Giacchino, however you say his last name. Guy did Star Trek, and he's fantastic.
The newer Star Treks?
Yeah, he does all Abrams stuff, but he also did The Incredibles.
That's a good name drop there. The new Star Trek was really good.
Yeah. But then my second choice would be, I think, because I watched when I was little, was Back to the Future 1. That is
Someone got jacked.
Was that what you did? You didn't say anything. I didn't know.
That's all right. Just jump right in there, Jose.
It's a segue to Jose's.
No, go ahead.
Segue.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Segue to
Go ahead.
Jose's.
Try. Go ahead. I'll give you that one. So go ahead.
Oh, but that one was really good. I think that was probably a movie I watched repetitively so many times, and when you hear that scene, that's all I really think about. So my bad, man.
Can I name drop again?
Yeah.
Or unless Jose's going to cover the composer, because I'm just trying to give credit where credit's due.
Oh yes, please do. Yeah, please do.
I'm not cutting you off, am I, Jose?
No, you were good. No, you're good. Go ahead.
The guy did it. Alan Silvestri did Who Framed Roger Rabbit, did Forrest Gump, does a lot of Zemeckis work. So another good guy. Just love his compositions.
Speaking of which, what else you got, Jose?
Well, no, I mean, it's my favorite movie. Back to the Future.
Back to the Future.
It's like my all-time favorite. Like I'll seriously watch Back to the Future and reruns, all three of them back to back to back all day, any day. Seriously.
If they're on, you're watching it.
If they're on, I'm watching it. Don't even fucking touch the remote control. I fucking kill
I'm
it.
calling it in work.
I think I
calling
said
it
that's my
work.
favorite trilogy of all time. I think
It's I just fucking
I
love
love that.
Michael J. Fox by still one of my favorite actors. Yeah. As far as the next, my choice is a combination of a couple of movies now. One is Forrest Gump. Forrest Gump is also one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, that's a great movie.
Just the whole idea of taking this one guy who's part of
That's not
history,
Forrest
who's really not, he's more in the background, but at any time you hear that music when he's sitting on the bench and he's just telling stories, and that's all he does in the entire movie. He's just telling stories that we've heard before, but he's in his own perspective, and it's kind of cool, and you hear that from the very beginning, that intro to the very end, and just like, wow, and you see that little feather flying around. He's basically is the feather in the movie. Forrest Gump is the feather. He's just floating through life.
Life's like a box of chocolate.
Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get.
Plus, it's a very quotable movie too.
It is.
I remember
Lieutenant Dan.
Ice cream, Lieutenant Dan.
Yeah, there goes my boat.
shrimp gumbo. Shrimp
Oh my
stew.
gosh. And
Barbecue shrimp, lemon shrimp,
And then,
coconut shrimp.
and then the other movie, if I must say so, is from the movie Up. Is actually the soundtrack called "Married Life,"
that's
and
really
it's by that movie. It actually encompasses like the first 5 minutes. I don't know if you guys seen the movie Up,
Yeah,
but
trust me, we all
it's,
have.
yeah,
Very much.
watch it if you
hit me
haven't seen
right
it.
in the heart, bro.
But that music, and actually, my wife and I are big Disney fans, and when this song plays in Disneyland, you can tell everyone in Disney Park just changes mood. It's such a loving, just that first 5
You
minutes.
want to grab on whoever you have next
Yeah,
to you,
and
right?
so that whole thing is great. So that's my pick.
Also, Michael Giacchino.
Yep, that's what
Yeah,
I say.
Michael Giacchino,
Same,
yeah,
same, yeah.
great.
good choice.
There you go.
Very nice. So I'll piggyback off of Hans Zimmer. Of course, I wanted to pick The Dark Knight as well, but instead I picked Inception. Same type of music, the same type
Killer.
of score. He's got these like just dramatic, melodies, and then these ominous tones
The
and
notes.
Yeah, and it's just he's playing this song
Sell it
right
to
here.
us. Sell it to us, Adam.
There's one song in particular right at the end called Time, and it just makes you want to just continue to dream like in the story, and literally and figuratively. It's just uplifting, and I don't know, just very moody and dramatic, and I know it's kind of all over the place, but
Tell a lot
yeah.
of it. Tell a lot.
You mentioning that, Adam, makes me want to watch the movie now. I forgot
actually
how
do
good
wanna
that
watch
score
it.
is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think that music really drives that movie in the tones that it sets.
And it's just a great movie.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah,
You
it does such a good job just trying to create, this time and time travel kind of situation. And I don't know, it's just the music. You can tell a good soundtrack or score because it really benefits the movie.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Does a great job of doing that. And Hans Zimmer, he's one of my top two guys. It's
Best.
John Williams or Hans Zimmer.
Hmm.
And yeah, that's all I got to
Love
say
it.
about that.
Any other choices besides Inception?
I
second
had
one?
a couple of themes that I wanted to mention.
Honorable
but
mention?
I think we already kind of covered them with the Superman, the Batman, the Mission Impossibles.
Let's say
Those that like right away after two notes that's what they are.
Pirates of the Caribbean
Pirates
one.
of the Caribbean, sure.
Oh yeah. Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah.
I mean, you mentioned John Williams. Like, is there a guy who's made more iconic?
Oh,
Like-
Yeah, Jurassic Park.
Oh yeah.
Of
Speaking of
course.
which,
Dude,
My wife would like that one.
that was my choice.
Segue.
Where's
Well,
segue?
tell us about
Segue.
it.
Well, you
We
just
didn't
jump
steal
in there when I
anything,
said
segue.
John
Jump in
Williams,
there.
dude. That's why I said
Setting
it.
you up.
Anyways, I
layup.
chose Jurassic Park. Let's get this done with.
Go on.
All right,
Sell
cool.
us.
Wow,
It's
picked him
iconic.
up.
Sell us. Come
Was
on.
that a
sell it
mic
to
drop?
us, yeah.
It's fucking dinosaur. It's fucking awesome.
We all
I don't know
this
what
one.
else to do.
Is
How about you
dinosaurs a
sing it for
T-Rex?
us?
Did
Come
you
on.
Kill you
Did
so
you
much.
watch
Lull me to
that,
sleep.
Can of
I love
Barbasol? That's amazing.
Come on. Talk about the Brontosaurus.
How about
The Triceratops.
how about the guy trying to run away when he's singing crap? That was hilarious.
That was a big pile of shit.
You gotta go. You gotta go.
The lawyers, man.
Oh, right?
Yeah, but you had another one too.
Yeah, it was Blade Runner 2049. I remember watching this with Adam,
Yeah, it's good.
and we just appreciate the synthesizer, the music, the way it was played throughout the movie. the tone it's set, like it matches the storytelling really well. Like me and Adam talking about how the music was like just mind blowing because every scene the music matched really well. Right, the score. I thought it was good.
I thought the movie, like, it was very long, but the music helped kind of bridge, like, each scene.
Yeah.
And it had a lot of, like, just long, epic shots of, like, you know, the atmosphere, the setting, you know. And so, it had kind of just the kind of melodies that just led you on that journey, too.
Like, the intense fight scenes or the scenes that got more serious, like, the music rose up, you know, like, it went really well with the whole film itself. So, I thought it was amazing score. I don't know if you guys seen the movies yet.
They did a good job creating that
amazing.
same 80s feel.
Oh, definitely, dude. Definitely.
That's the master right there, Adam. Hans Zimmer.
Yeah.
We have the movie, just I haven't seen it.
Dude, watch it. It's so good.
So, do we give Hans Zimmer's royalty fees for all this now?
That guy's good, man. Even the Last Samurai did really good.
Oh yeah, Last Samurai.
That's a good one, too.
Last Samurai.
Speaking of Hans Zimmer, I'll go to my choices since we're not done stroking his ego. So, yeah.
Please like us, Hans.
I went with Hans Zimmer choice as well. The very much deserving of the best picture, Gladiator. So yeah, no, I think this has a great soundtrack. There's a lot of emotion, a lot of the musical pieces. Like I love this piece right here. This closes out the movie. Spoiler alert: he dies.
I haven't seen the movie, guys.
You've had a long fucking
I'm
time.
kidding.
I know, but yeah, no, this is a beautiful piece of music that I really enjoyed. It's called Honor Him. Again, this is from Hans Zimmer, but not just this piece of music. I think this is a beautiful piece, but throughout there's amazing, intense music during the battles in the Colosseum. Every time I forget his name, the Caesar, the communist Caesar, I forget his name, Joaquin Phoenix's character. Like, yeah, whenever he's doing any of his intense speeches or meltdowns, like, there's just such great score underneath. So I thought this is a fantastic piece of just work done by Hans Zimmer. So thank you again, sir, for all you've done.
It's a great movie also.
Fantastic movie. Like I said, it's
Another one I want to watch again because of that. Yeah.
Are you not entertained?
better than Moulin Rouge, I'll tell you that much.
There
Right?
you go.
Hey.
It is.
Best picture of the year.
So I picked it. But anyway, so
Hope you're listening this week, John.
I had an extremely honorable mention as well. When Sam said he had 2 picks, I said, fuck it, I'm going to make 2 picks as well.
There you go.
Just because if I'm going to pick at least one theme, there's only one song that really stands to mind. It's not Star Wars, but I'm going to tell you one song that gets me jacked every fucking time. It's a fucking Rocky song.
The Rocky theme.
You play this song right here, and this absolutely gets you going no matter what. It's the ultimate montage song. It's the
that's
ultimate
true.
workout song right
It's
here.
on everybody's workout.
Are you saying if we were to play this out loud, all 4 of us with Eddie, we're all gonna work out?
Yes, we are.
Let's do it.
That's exactly what's going to happen.
Let's do it.
We play this movie. We'll
Just say
they
Eddie.
start doing
You're
push-ups.
listening.
Yes, they played this song. Like I ran Tough Mudder like 5 years ago, and they played this song as you just start running, and it gets you going so much when you hear this song right here. It just makes you think of Rocky just running up those steps, putting his fists in the air. It's just one of those pump-up songs, man. And I love it. It stands out so well. I would put this right up there with Star Wars and anything else.
Oh.
I'm actually gonna go ahead and change my alarm tone to the
Exactly.
Rocky theme song.
You'll get up ready to go, energy, and you're psyched, man.
Yes.
Yeah, that's only one
It's
right.
so great.
I feel like I'm a winner.
Right? Jacked up right now.
Did you feel accomplished?
Yes.
Oh, he's another genius too. Bill Conti
Yes. Great.
did Karate Kid, which is on my list of
That's a good choice too, bro.
Did
Ooh,
some,
Karate
yeah.
Kid.
He did a couple Bond films too.
Which Bond's films did he
I
do?
don't think of Karate Kid.
For Your Eyes Only.
Ah, very cool.
Yeah.
Wait, the Karate Kid. I want to know what that sounds like now.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I was like, I can't think of that.
Sounds
right
like Awesomeness. Did anyone watch the YouTube series?
now.
No, not yet.
Oh, Cobra Kai.
I've heard it's good. Yeah,
Oh, the
we
Cobra
may
Kai,
have to
yeah.
dive into that.
Is it good? It's.
I've heard
you've seen
nothing but good things about it. Yeah.
Ralph Macchiato.
Macchiato.
I'll have a venti Ralph Macchiato, please.
All right, guys. Anything else as far as music?
Ah,
I know there's
think
lots
we
of good
covered
stuff
them.
out there.
I think the idea.
Tell us your favorite score.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll throw up ours on the internets and let us know what we missed.
Yeah, seriously.
For sure.
Great music leads to great movies, and great movies, always have good
They
soundtracks.
benefit from
Good-
each other.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Gives you
sure.
good
Just like the
podcast
Ship of Water.
episodes.
Great music.
Oh yeah, Ship of Water.
So is that why Batman Superman got a pretty decent score thanks to Hans Zimmerman?
Zimmer, not Zimmerman.
Oh, Zimmerman, sorry.
Two different guys, sir.
That was
Oh.
Batman.
This proves that there's more than one Han Solo.
How about Hans Gruber? No one cares about him.
One of the best villains. Come on, don't knock that.
All right. So on a final note,
Oh.
I just want to say we met this guy at the last Comic-Con, and it was very cool to see him and his team. Felix, big fan. Rest in peace, John Schnepp. He passed away this week of he had a massive stroke.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they couldn't do anything about it. Felix, I know you're a big fan. Any words for that?
Yeah, no, I mean, this really sucks because we literally met him, maybe about a
Couple
month
weeks
ago?
ago,
Yeah, we met him at the Amazing Comic-Con. He was the host of Collider Heroes. He also had an extensive list of credentials in the nerd world. He contributed to Metalocalypse. He had his own comic book series. He was also the main creator behind a documentary film called The Death of Superman Lives. If you don't know, Superman Lives was supposed to be this new Superman movie that was supposed to come out in the 90s, directed by Tim Burton, starring Nicolas Cage as Superman.
Yeah.
Written by Kevin Smith.
Written by Kevin Smith.
Yes.
That completely fell apart, as you can imagine. So John Schnepp actually went out and did this really awesome documentary and talked to all members of the party. So he talked to the writers behind the Superman Lives, Tim Burton, Kevin Smith was there also. Lots of people that were involved with the project. So he really did a really amazing documentary. If you guys get a chance to find it anywhere online, The Death of Superman Lives, it's a really great watch. But yeah, no, it's really unfortunate. It really did bum me out because I was a big fan of this guy. You know, he wasn't like a huge necessarily name for everybody, but if you're in the nerd culture, you probably may have heard of him at one point or another. He was just a really cool guy. He's one of the first persons that I really just really embraced being a nerd and really just said, you don't like it, fuck it. He would be one of the people that straight up say you don't like what we're doing, or you don't like the separation of DC and Marvel, all this fighting and all that, and fuck all that. We're nerds, why fight? Right now we're winning. We're at a point right now where, investors and creators are putting in millions and millions of dollars into stuff that we only imagined as kids. And he's one of those that just embraced that. And it's he just spread that message out there. It's get together and we're in the golden age of superhero movies right now. Why the fuck are we trying to tear each other down by saying who's got the better film? So he really just taught me just really embrace it, man. Just fucking just dive headfirst in and it's cool to be a nerd, man. Because there was a point, where it wasn't. You'd get bullied, you'd get heckled, you were put into a shitty position. So it's a great time to be alive right now as a nerd. And he really helped spread that message and really opened my eyes to that. And it's a real shame that, we lost a titan in the nerd world who really spread that kind of message. So it's really unfortunate, that he passed, but that's life, unfortunately. So that's why, we all have so little time. You never know what could happen. We met him just not a month ago, and he looked in perfect health. He's a really cool guy, really laid back, and now he's no longer with us. So you never know what's going to happen your way. So, spread that love out there. Be good to each other. Go hug your family, hug your friends, acknowledge them while we can, because you never know what's going to happen. We may not have it tomorrow. So it's really unfortunate. So rest in peace, good sir. You were a great man. Thank you for what you contributed and for opening my eyes as to what it is to be a nerd and how awesome it is. But yeah, there is a GoFundMe set up right now. His wife set it up. Holly Payne is her name. You can find her on Twitter. She set up an Instagram a GoFundMe, Patreon, I believe, or just set up just to help with the hospital bills because, as you know, it sucks. And I've had multiple family members in the hospital over years, and it sucks. It's not cheap. It's a terrible, terrible, feeling. Even if you don't contribute, that's fine. I mean, just spread the word. Just try to help out however you can. But yeah, it's really unfortunate. So just want to say my piece. Rest in peace, Mr. Schnepp. You're awesome. Thank you again for contributing what you did. You're an awesome dude. Glad I got to meet you at least once.
There you go. Good words, Felix.
Thanks, guys.
Anything else to close off the show, guys?
A fun note.
We covered pretty much everything. We'll go back to you next week on the Netflix thing. We have some more trailers and stuff we'll cover next week. Check us out on our website, www.nofashow.com.
Also, get ready for EFO.
Yeah.
Around the corner.
Evo's
Right
in a
around the
couple of
corner.
weeks. We'll have the whole crew together.
We're all going to have blisters in our hands.
It's going to have a good weekend.
Yep, we'll have a lot of fun. You guys will hear about it. We'll see you next week. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Peace.